friends, and welcome back. After my very long series of my Disney Cruise Line adventure on the Disney Dream in Europe, I decided that today I'm going to tell you all of the absolute best tips and tricks that you can do while you are on your next Disney Cruise Line vacation. A lot of these I did not learn until after I had cruised, and honestly, knowing them makes my cruise experience so much better. So let's just dive right into it. Here we go. Now, all of these tips are going to be while you are on the ship. There are lots of things that you can do pre-planning. First and foremost, obviously, I always say that, book with a travel agent. They will be there to help you. You get onboard credit, you do all of those things. So make sure you're finding a travel agent that you trust and can help you through the pre-planning process. So I'm going to go through all of these tips and tricks in no particular order. If you have not cruised with Disney Cruise Line before and it is your first time on a Disney vessel, bring a lanyard. If you have cruised before, Disney Cruise Line always provides a lanyard to hold your Key to the World cards in. Now, there was like a Mickey Mouse on this before. I don't know where it went. And this is actually very old. They will provide you a lanyard if you are a part of the Castaway Club, meaning you've cruised at least once before. But your very first time on the ship, you do not get a lanyard. So I recommend bringing one or having something that's easy, mainly because you always need your Key to the World card. You need it to pay for things. You need it to get into your room. Lots and lots of things. So definitely make sure that you have a lanyard for first timers. When you are on the ship, especially the first day, they're gonna try to sell you beer packages, water packages, whatever it may be, and it comes with a Disney Cruise Line cooler, especially if you're going to like Castaway Cay or Lighthouse Point next year. The coolers can be helpful, and it's like you buy 6 of them for the price of 5 or something like that. And like I said, they do have water packages as well, but depending on where you're sailing, the water is different. If you don't like Dasani, sometimes it's Dasani. We had like canned water over when we were in Europe, which was interesting. But you do get to keep the cooler. It's a nice, decent cooler. It folds down. It's not hard or anything. But they do sell you those packages. Things that I personally have not done, but it's so fun to see everybody else do it, is decorating your door. A lot of people don't know that your entire door is magnetic and all of the walls in your stateroom are also magnetic. So a lot of people bring fun magnets, they decorate their door, they make it look all fancy and fun. I think for a future cruise I will, but I've just never gotten around to actually decorating my own door. A lot of the times you'll also see people having things hanging from where their door numbers are, which are technically called fish. A fish extender, so things that hang on the fish with your door number on it, that's called a fish extender. A lot of the times people will have things there that people can grab, they can exchange, but also if you're a member of like the cruise Facebook group that usually a guest puts together, they'll be the ones organizing all of the fish extenders, ornament exchanges, sock exchanges, lots of fun things like that. So if you want to participate with other members of the cruise, that's always something to look into. Again, it's not something that I've ever personally done, but it is fun to see how everybody does their fish extenders and things like that. Also, because all of the walls are magnetic, I've talked before about getting magnetic hooks. I get some from Amazon. I put them up. I put my swimsuits up on them. I put towels up on them. I put my medals that I win up on them. It's just nice to have because they do have hangers, obviously, in the closets on the ship, but I like to hang up everything, and so there's usually not enough hangers for me. So I do like to bring those metal hooks and put them all around my stateroom because all of the walls are magnetic. Something that I always love to do, especially as an adult without a child, is when I get on the ship before we leave the port, I love to tour the kids clubs. I love to walk through all of the spaces that basically I'm not going to be allowed in once we start sailing, because those are meant for children at specific age groups. So definitely make sure that you walk through, look at the nursery, look at the kids clubs, because they are really cool. Even if you're not going to be spending any time in them, it is nice to see how they're each unique to each ship. Just kind of check it out. One of the onboard activities that I love doing are beverage seminars. So whether it be wine tasting, champagne tasting, bourbon tasting, mixology, things like that. Those are some of my favorite activities for adults 21 and up on the ship, but they can sell out quickly if you're, say, a Silver Castaway Club member or a first-time cruiser and you're not booking until much later. But always when you get onto the ship Wi-Fi and you're on your Navigator app, things keep popping up. People are changing plans. People are canceling. New spots are opening up. So always check for onboard activities and port adventures on your Navigator app just to see if anything freshens up. And also you can always go to the port adventure desk or guest relations to see if any port adventures that you really wanted have opened up, but definitely the Navigator app for any like onboard fun activities. They do cost extra, but I honestly think they're worth it. If you are stopping at Castaway Cay on your sailing, you can always participate in the Castaway Cay 5K. It used to be like an actual organized run where you would start as a group and go, but you just run it on your own now. And there is a place you can stop afterwards to get your Castaway Cay 5K rubber medal, which is always so fun. It's just a nice way to see the island and get off the ship before everyone else and have a good time. And you don't have to run it. You can walk it too. I've walked it. I've never run it before. If you suffer from seasickness, honestly, I cannot talk about my relief band enough. I have had my relief band for almost 5 years and I absolutely adore it. I wear it constantly on the ship. I never take it off while I'm on the ship, even if I'm not even if there are completely smooth waters, I am wearing my relief band. There is like a conductive gel, you put it on and it like sends vibrations into your wrist. So it's basically like, you know how C-bands, they have the pressure points into the wrist. These are sending like vibrations into the wrist and they're really helping stabilize me mentally. And honestly, it works best for me. I also always bring peppermint oil with me, just because the smell of peppermint helps soothe whatever part of the, I don't know. It works for me. Mints, peppermint oil, and my relief band, I adore. I no longer take the things behind the, or like I used to have medication that went behind my ear, that the side effects were way too intense for me. Intense dry mouth honestly made me even sicker while on the ship, and it just doesn't work for me. Same thing with Dramamine. I'm not a fan of the medication, so I am a big proponent of the relief band, peppermint oil, and mints. Honestly, my favorite combo. Truly the best money you'll ever spend. Car rides, not feeling well, if you're sick, theme park rides, anything. I think it's great. So before any of shows in the Walt Disney Theater or in the Buena Vista Theater for movies or productions, you can buy popcorn, and they do have popcorn buckets that you can buy, and then afterward refills of the popcorn will be cheaper. If you're like coming from Orlando and leaving out of Port Canaveral and want to bring a popcorn bucket, you can do that. That is definitely something you can do if you don't want to pay that first price of the initial popcorn bucket. But they do have some unique ones that you can only get on the ship, so that's fun. Also, if you love to take advantage of soda or water, I would suggest bringing a water bottle or some sort of drink container to refill from the soda machine. If you drink a lot of soda and you want that consistently, you can just fill up your Stanley. I always say use the plastic cup and pour it in. That's the most hygienic way to do it. And same thing with water bottles. There are water refill stations throughout, so definitely bring one of those. Always, always, always watch the morning show on the TV in your stateroom. They always do like a cute little like talk show situation with the cruise director, the assistant cruise director, the shopping director, somebody from entertainment, just to talk about all the activities that are happening on the ship that day. It is a great way to get your information. It's fun. It's like you're watching like the Today Show or Good Morning America in the morning. And it's just like a nice way to get to know them too, because then you could see them later on the ship and be like, oh, I know them. They're from the morning show. Or they call it like Good Morning Disney Wish. Good Morning Disney Dream, I think is what it's called. But it's always a great way to get your information, so definitely make sure you watch it in the mornings. Also, never miss out on the Sail a Wave party. It is your first time to get that real like Disney entertainment. Everybody goes up onto the pool deck for a fun little show with Mickey, Minnie, and the gang, and then a bunch of the Disney Cruise Line entertainment where they do fun dancing and singing, and then you are sailing away from the port. So they do that magical Disney Cruise Line horn. It's very emotional, it's very fun, but it's a fun way to all be together as you are sailing away on your Disney Cruise Line vacation. If you are an adult, 18 years or older, and you love like Disney theming, make sure you check out the Art of the Theme Show tour. This is like a quote unquote backstage tour that takes you around the ship and gives you like all of the little nuances that Imagineers did when they were creating the ship. It's a great way to see a lot of things that guests won't typically see as they're just walking by, and you'll get those little nods and you'll know more about the ship, and it just makes it a lot cooler to know that there was so much thought and reasoning behind everything on the ship. It's just a beautiful experience. It's like a 45-minute tour that you do with someone from the entertainment team, and I loved it. Also, if you love to dine out, adults, do not miss out on Palo Brunch. Now, Palo dinner, Remy brunch, Enchante dinner, also lovely, but Palo Brunch, I think, is the best bang for your buck, period. It is such a delectable brunch. So upscale, so nice. Like, you get that time away if you have kids or anything like that. It's $45, which it should be like $120 brunch. You get a glass of bubbles or mimosa or whatever included. So you get one drink included with this amazing large meal. Like, you're going to feel like you are unable to eat anymore. There's so much food. But honestly, it is incredible, and I would never miss out on it unless I can't get a reservation. If you can't get a reservation, definitely make sure you are checking out the schedule once you first arrive on the ship, because there is a dedicated time and space that you can go talk to the dining team to get on a wait list for brunch if you weren't able to get reservations ahead of time, and then they'll be able to call you at your stateroom if there's an opening or anything like that. Shopping for merchandise is always one of the amazing exclusive opportunities that you get on Disney Cruise Line, but you'll notice that it is only open when you are at sea. That is just the way it works on cruise lines. Their shops can only be open when they are at sea and not when they are at port. So definitely make sure you take advantage of that. Every ship tends to have ship-specific merchandise and maybe a sailing-specific merchandise if you're going somewhere exciting like Europe or Alaska, things like that. Keep in mind, if you're a Disney Vacation Club member, you do get a discount on merchandise on the Disney Cruise Line vessels. Also, if you have a Disney Visa and you're spending over $50, you do get, I think it's 15% off, but it may be 10% off. I'm unsure. But you do get a discount if you spend a certain amount with your Disney Visa. Something that I love to do, and it is wild that I've not ever seen a lot of people do it, is getting up early and walking around the ship. It is so incredibly quiet early morning on the ships. It is like one of my favorite things to do, is get up at like 7 a.m., maybe on an at-sea day where people aren't getting ready for port adventures, and just walking around and like relaxing and just enjoying the beauty of the ship with nobody else around. It's a very rare thing to have happen, but it's just so incredibly lovely. So try and take advantage of it if you can, even if it's just going to grab a coffee and sit on the upper deck, or sitting in the atrium and enjoying the nice little Disney music that plays. There's just some sort of beauty about being on the cruise when nobody's awake. And honestly, it doesn't have to be too early. Like, I walked around at 8 a.m. before and people were still not up and about. Speaking of coffees, I've mentioned this before, but espresso drinks are not included in the cruise fare. So you do get a punch card the first time you buy like a latte or an espresso or something like that. And I believe if you buy 5 drinks, you get the 6th one for free. And you can share that if you're with somebody else. You can each share that. You don't need to each have your individual one. But that is definitely something to look into if you are planning on getting a lot of lattes or espresso drinks. The best one, hands down, is the salted caramel coconut latte. If you've had it, you know it's delectable. It's so very good. One of the best. Something that I love to do is I always love to check out the drink of the day. Disney Cruise Line does a drink of the day every single day. It's usually some sort of tropical drink. They'll do a cocktail and a mocktail version. They do cost extra, but they are way less expensive. I think they're like $5.50 or $5.75 for the cocktail when they would typically be like $11. But you can see what it is on the app every day. It's a lot of fun. I love seeing what it is every single day. If you are a beer drinker, I've mentioned this in my vlogs before, but make sure you take advantage of the beer mug special. You get a coin that you can take around to the different bars, and basically you get a giant beer mug that's 21 or 20 ounces, and they fill that up just for the price of a 16 ounce. So you can definitely save a few bucks if you like beer, because you get 5 ounces free every single time. And then at the end, you get to keep your mug. I've said it before, I will say it again. If you are going on a Disney Cruise Line ship and you are not watching the musicals and the Broadway style productions on the Disney Cruise Line ships, that is a part of the amazingness that makes Disney Cruise Line so special. Definitely take advantage. Every ship has their own specific and individual musicals that you do not want to miss out. Not only are they shows that you know and love, like Beauty and the Beast, Frozen, Aladdin, The Little Mermaid, but also they have these unique musicals that are written for each ship, and they have tons of Disney characters in them. It's not just one Disney story. You'll get to see lots and lots of your favorite Disney characters in all of these shows. There are 3 that are on each ship, so definitely make sure you are watching them every night. They will do 2 showings, one during the first dinner and one during the second dinner. Say your second dinner, that means you would go see the show at 6:30, and then afterward would be your dinner time, and vice versa. If you have first dining, you would go to dinner first and then go see the later showing. But do not miss out on these. Like, honestly, they are so incredibly good. You have to go watch them. Also, if you're a fan of Disney characters, there are tons of times to meet and greet around the ship. There are some organized meet and greets, like the Princess, where you do sign up ahead of time to get in a meet and greet line and meet 4 princesses back to back to back to back. Or there are just some random meet and greets where Mickey Mouse will be out in his captain suit at 9 a.m. and you just get in line, meet him, or Stitch would be out in a couple hours at different spots around the ship. There's also lots of fun things that they do throughout the day, at nighttime, in between the show and dinner, things like that that are in the atrium that you'll definitely not want to miss out on. There are a lot of things that happen on board the Disney cruise. Obviously, if you are at port, meaning you are at one of the destinations, get off, go do things, go do lots of port adventures, go explore the country, go explore the island, things like that. But obviously, you have to be on the ship a decent amount of time. There's a lot of sailings that have on-sea days, or you're just going from one port to the other and you have that afternoon and night on the ship. So there are a lot of free activities that you could take advantage of. Obviously, one of my favorites is trivia. Not only do they do lots of Disney trivia, but there's regular trivia like TV trivia, movie quote trivia, I'm trying to think, 90s music, things like that. They'll do lots of different trivias throughout the cruise. And they'll list it all on the Navigator app, what is happening and in which locations. But there's also like game shows that they do. A lot of family friendly ones, some adult only ones that are amazing and fun. And if you are a bingo fan, there is definitely bingo on each of the ships. It does cost money because you could win a lot of money. So keep that in mind. But it's a hoot and a half to watch happen. I'm not a big bingo person, but it is fun to watch a couple rounds. I love some of the themed nights that they have on the ships. So for longer sailings, they'll do semi-formal night or formal night where you get dressed up and there's cocktails and mocktails in the atrium and the captain will come out and lots of photo opportunities and things like that. But there's also pirate night and frozen night on certain sailings where everything is themed to that. Pirate night, there are, depending on the itinerary, there are fireworks. There's always a show happening on the deck. The menus at dinner are themed for pirate night. Sometimes they'll even hand out little pirate Mickey bandanas and give you like gold doubloon chocolates in your stateroom. It's a lot of fun and people really get all into it. They go all out. So it is not completely out there if you want to invest in some pirate garb for your next Disney Cruise Line vacation. Some sailings will have happy hour at the adult only pubs, meaning cocktails and beers are at a discounted price, which are always fun. And they'll have small snacks, especially late at night. They'll do like a buffet of snacks and things that are all included. So always make sure you're checking your Navigator app for any happy hours during the day, in the early evening, and in the late evening hours. Also, something that everybody loves is the spa. It's nice to relax on a Disney cruise, so definitely make sure you check out the Senses Spa. Usually on the first night before you start sailing away, take a tour of the Senses Spa. They could be running a special on something, whether it be a massage, a couples massage, whatever else you do in spas, like facials and things like that. But definitely make sure you take a tour of it and you get everything booked that first day if you had not already booked it before. The best thing about Senses, in my opinion, is the rainforest room. Now, depending on what ship you are, you can do day passes that range, I think they're like $30 or $35, I forget. Or you can do a pass for the entire length of your stay. And these have like heated tile lounge chairs or steam rooms, scented aromatherapy showers, hot tubs that are in this nice, beautiful, like calm space. They'll get like, you can get sugar scrubs and things like that. It's just a really nice place to relax. It is adult only. I always like to do it for at least a day if I can. It's always a fun thing for people to like hide rubber ducks around the ship, whether they be themed or whatever, and they'll like write a little note on them. People like to have like scavenger hunts around them. It's fun to like see them yourself, but if you have kids, that's definitely something that they can partake in. Or if you're a kid at heart, it's always something fun as well. If you are a Disney movie fan, obviously there is the Buena Vista Theater or the Wonderland Theater, things like that are like a movie theater playing new films, sometimes older films in the movie theaters. A lot of the times if a new movie has just released, Disney Cruise Line will be able to get that. Elemental premiered June 16th and I was on the June 20th sailing, and halfway through our sailing we were able to see Elemental on the ship. I personally did not, but it was a nice opportunity for others to see it. Keep that in mind. But also, on the pool deck, they have funnel vision. So there is a giant movie screen that will be playing Disney movies in the morning, throughout the day, on the big screen on the pool deck. It's always nice to watch one that maybe you haven't seen in for a while. I also love that on your TVs in your staterooms, you can watch Disney movies basically on demand. There's a nice little category of tons and tons of Disney and Pixar films that you can watch, and I always like to watch them before I go to bed. If you do bring beer or wine on this ship, I always like to make sure I have my own corkscrew or bottle opener. You can always ask your stateroom host for it, but you're not always seeing them all the time. You don't want to be a hassle to call, so just bring your own onto the ship. So if you don't know this, obviously there's unlimited ice cream on Disney Cruise Lines. Now, it's usually serve yourself, except on the Disney Wish. When I sailed a few months ago, they did have a cast member who would have to get that for you. So it did hinder me a little bit from getting as much ice cream as I wanted. But I saw somebody, whether you're gluten-free or you don't like the cone, getting one of the small cups that they have and filling the cup up with ice cream. I thought that was brilliant. So smart. Oh my gosh, I wish I would have thought of that before. But it's also a way to get more ice cream in just one trip. And the last thing is, don't forget to take advantage of room service. This is definitely something that you can do 24 hours a day. There is a special room service menu that you can check out on the Navigator app. And it's just like a nice extra thing if you're hungry after dinner, if you want something in the middle of the day but Cabanas or Marceline's is closed, or you just want a Mickey ice cream sandwich in the middle of the night. Whatever it may be, but it does not cost any extra for that food for you. So definitely take advantage of it. But as you can see, there are tons and tons of ways to experience a Disney cruise, and I hope these tips were helpful. There are so many more fun things to discover about Disney Cruise Line vacations, and honestly, the tips and tricks and things that you discover are endless when it comes to these vacations. So let me know what your favorite tip is, something I missed, or if there's one that you were like, oh yes, I loved that. Let me know. Honestly, like I said, it is just like an onion. There are so many layers to a Disney Cruise Line vacation. And obviously, without even knowing all of this, you're going to enjoy your time. Always be looking at that Navigator app, seeing what's happening on the ship, seeing what looks exciting to you and your family, because every Disney Cruise Line vacation is so special and so magical, and so are the ship and its crew members. So you're going to have a great time no matter what. Well, I hope these were helpful. Again, like I said, let me know if there's anything I missed or something that you always love to do while you're on the ship. And if you have any questions about Disney Cruise Line or a future Disney cruise, you know how to reach me. Just let me know. I'd be happy to help plan. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you all in my next video.